Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about how you can use AI to change your finances. And here are the exact prompts that you can use. You got to remember that AI can help improve your overall efficiency. And you can use it to review bank accounts, your credit card balance. You can look at bills when they're due. You think about, you can analyze ways to invest in the stock market, and you can also analyze the way you budget. And, that's a reactive approach. A better approach is to build a financial review system. So this right here is a huge step forward, and AI can help you with that. Okay, prompt 1, monthly cash flow review. Cash flow is simple, money coming in versus money going out. And here's the prompt. Act as a financial organization assistant. Review the following income and expense information. Categorize the spending into housing, transportation, food, debt payments, subscriptions, health, business, savings, investing, and miscellaneous. Then summarize. First, total income. Second, total expenses. Third, net cash flow. Fourth, top 5 spending categories. Fifth, unusual or repeated expenses. Sixth, areas where I may be leaking. Seventh, one practical improvement for next month. This prompt helps turn messy information into a clear picture. That matters because your bank account is not a number, it's a behavior report. If you want to build wealth long term, you have to understand your behavior with money. Prompt 2, spending leak finder. The second prompt is for finding spending leaks. A spending leak is not always one huge purchase. A lot of the time it is repeated small spending that quietly adds up. Here's the prompt. Review this list of expenses and identify possible spending leaks. Separate them into the following: 1, repeated small purchases. 2, subscriptions or memberships. 3, convenience spending. 4, food and drink spending. 5, fees, interest, or penalties. 6, purchases that may not match my stated priorities. This is a very important prompt to remember, and it really, you want to use each one of these prompts as needed. You will see a major improvement and get a much clearer picture. The third prompt is debt payoff clarity. Debt can feel confusing when balances, interest rates, minimum payments, and due dates are scattered everywhere. And AI can help you organize. Here's the prompt. Act as a debt organization assistant. I will provide a list of debts with balance, balance, interest rate, minimum payment, and due date. Create a debt summary table. Then compare two payoff methods. First, the debt snowball. The smallest balance first. Second, the debt avalanche. Highest interest rate first. For each method, explain the benefit, the downside, and who it may fit best. This prompt is important because there's no one-size-fits-all debt strategy. It's whatever works best for you. I personally recommend the avalanche method because of the impact. You've always want to pay the biggest bills with the largest interest first. The avalanche method may save more because you're paying off you're basically choosing the best method for you. If you have bills that have a 10% debt versus a bill that has a 5% debt, clearly the bill that has the 10% debt should be paid first. But case by case, you've got to work. Your bills may be different, and really the more disciplined person will clearly go for the avalanche method. Like I said, but at the same time, the snowball method is there for, I guess, special cases. It's really whatever works for you. You may have very large bills, and it's really case by case. Prompt 4, subscription audit. This is one of the easiest wins. A lot of people are paying for things they do not use, forget about, or no longer value. Here's the prompt. Review this list of recurring charges and create a subscription audit. For each item, label it as 1. Keep, 2. Review, 3. Cancel candidate. Use the following criteria. Do I use it regularly? Does it support my health, income, education? Is there a cheaper alternative? Has the price increased? Would I sign up for it again today? Then estimate potential monthly savings from the cancel candidates. The key question in this prompt is, would I sign up for it again today? This question is key. Sometimes we keep paying for things because we made a decision months or years ago. A subscription audit forces the decision to come back into the present. Prompt 5, emergency fund check. An emergency fund is something everyone needs and is very important. Here's a quick prompt. Act as a financial risk review assistant. Based on my monthly essential expenses, help me estimate emergency fund targets for 1 month of expenses, 2 3 months of expenses, 3 6 months of expenses. Then explain what risk each level protects. Also list practical ways to build the fund without relying on income that you don't have. You want to focus on. You don't want to have any assumptions here. This prompt keeps the focus on risk control. Prompt 6, net worth snapshot. Here's the prompt. Help me create a simple net worth snapshot. I will provide my assets and liabilities. Assets may include cash, checking, savings, retirement accounts, brokerage accounts, real estate equity, business assets, vehicles, or other major assets. Liabilities may include credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, student loans, mortgages, business debt. Create a table showing total assets, total liabilities, and estimated net worth. Then identify which areas are improving. which areas need attention, and what I should track monthly. This prompt gives you a scorecard, or excuse me, a scoreboard. Always remember, net worth is a measurement, and it's important to keep track of it. Ultimately what you want to look for here is consistency, and if you stay consistent and you're consistently gaining in your net worth, you'll be on the right trajectory. You want to keep track of the percentages that you increase or decrease each month. Ultimately, you want your net worth to be increasing. Consistently, you want to be paying so much money into your investment account every month. You always want to pay yourself first. That's considered paying your future self. So basically, you'll be on the right trajectory. 12 months of dollar cost averaging, taking a certain percentage of your paycheck can really make a huge impact. It's about being consistent every week and continuing to invest. You can retire within 10 years, using the FIRE strategy. Prompt 7, financial scenario analysis. Here's a quick prompt. Create a financial scenario analysis based on my current income, expenses, debt, savings, and goals. Build 3 scenarios. First, base case. Things continue about the same. Second, better case. Income improves or expenses decrease. Third, stress case. Income drops, expenses rise, or an unexpected expense arises. For each scenario, explain cash flow impact, main risk, best next action, what I should avoid, and what number I should monitor most. This prompt helps you think in probabilities, and that's a better way to be prepared overall. A base case keeps you grounded. A better case helps you plan for opportunity. A stress case helps you prepare before pressure arrives. That is how investors think. That is how business owners think. The key is to always be disciplined and be well prepared. Prompt 8, weekly money review. The monthly review matters. It's very important, but the weekly review keeps you from drifting. Here's the prompt. Act as my weekly financial review assistant. ask me for the following information. Number 1, current checking balance. Number 2, current savings balance. Number 3, credit card balance. Number 4, upcoming bills. Number 5, income expected this week. Number 6, major expenses expected this week. Number 7, any financial decisions I am considering. After I answer, summarize my week into cash position, risk flags, bills to prepare for, spending behavior to watch, one action to improve the week. This prompt should help you answer a few questions. Where am I at financially? What is due? What could surprise me? What needs attention before it becomes expensive? Prompt 9, investment decision filter. You can use AI to organize all the information before you make an investment decision. Here's the prompt. Act as an investment research assistant for educational purposes only. Help me organize my thinking about this stock or investment idea. Analyze first the business model, second, revenue drivers, third, profitability, fourth, balance sheet strength, fifth, valuation considerations, sixth, major risk, seventh, bull case, eighth, base case, ninth, bear case, 10th, what could go wrong? 11th, what information still needs verification? Do not make unsupported predictions. This is important. Really, you need to ask AI, what do I need to understand before making a decision? Basically, you want to build a disciplined research checklist. Good investing is about process, risk, valuation, patience, and position sizing. Prompt 10, financial priority ranking. Here's the prompt. Help me rank my financial priorities. My current goals are listed below. Score each goal from 1 to 5 based on number 1, urgency, number 2, risk reduction, number 3, long-term wealth impact. Number 4, cash flow impact. Number 5, simplicity of execution. Then rank the goals into do now, schedule next, track monthly, delay for later. Explain the reasoning clearly and identify the first action. Step for the top priority. This prompt helps you focus on what matters. Financial progress usually comes from sequencing. You do the right thing in the right order. Basically you want AI to help build a better review system. Your cash flow, debt, spending, subscriptions, emergency funds, net worth, investing decisions, and weekly reviews. That's a real value. You want to use AI as a tool for clarity. Use it to organize the numbers. Use it to find patterns. Use it to ask better questions. Use it to build a repeatable system. Because when you get a better overall picture of your money, you can make better decisions, and better decisions repeated over time are what build wealth. For more practical finance, investing, business, and AI workflow education, follow Josh DeLozier Investments. Appreciate everyone watching the video this week. Be sure to come back next week for our latest video.